Welcome to the Flying Chairs The Rise podcast with your hosts, Dustin and Chrissy. And today we have Jessica Styler. She is a relationship coach for highly sensitive people. And Jessica, tell us a little bit about yourself and what you do.
Let's see. I love working with highly sensitive people because I am a highly sensitive person. I also love working with people with ADHD. I also have ADHD. And often these things go together, the highly sensitive and the ADHD. I also have rejection sensitive dysphoria, which my therapist let me know about recently, which often comes with ADHD and highly sensitive person. So these are kind of the folks that I work with, who are most like me. And I think I also focus a lot on inner child healing, inner critic transformation, divine empowerment, because we have to step into our divine selves to feel that divine love and all of our higher selves who have all the answers, right? So I think I'm more of a guide than a coach because I don't really talk a lot to my clients. I guide them in deep processes. Their eyes are closed and I'm guiding them to speak with their higher selves who have all the answers that they need. So they're coaching themselves. And I'm just they're helping to ask questions, and let's see, I do a lot of shadow work. I focus a lot on Tantra. So traditional Tantra and Neo Tantra. Traditional Tantra being kind of the base of the methodology I was taught. And it is the concept that we are love. And every part of us deserves love, deserves to be accepted and understood. So it's very holistic. We're very holding every part of ourselves instead of pushing parts away that we don't like. And so this is essentially what I guide. There's a really beautiful Buddhist tantric shadow parts work practice. I know there's a lot of words. Wow. Called Feeding Your Demons that I incorporate into my sessions. Demons in Buddhism means a blockage to enlightenment. So it's not like some evil spirit. And so this is a really beautiful integration practice with our parts. Do you guys know what parts work is?
No, please tell us.
Oh, okay. So it's the concept that we are made up of many different parts. So we know about our inner child, right? And our inner critic. Mm-hmm. These are pretty common. But we have every single fear and all of our shadow emotions are also parts of us. And these parts have their own desires, their own purpose, their own wants, and their own needs separate from us. So when we talk to our inner child, they're going to have their own needs and wants aside from us that we are unaware of probably. And so and same with our anger and our shame and our disgust and our judgments. But then also all of our higher selves, our inner gods or goddesses, our inner priest or priestesses, our inner wise woman, wise men, all these divine parts also have their own desires and purpose, and often to protect us. But same with the shadow parts, our anger is there to protect us. Same with our inner child and our inner critic, right? That every part of us just wants to protect us. And so once we kind of understand that it's all just to look out for us, it's all to protect us, then we can understand it a little bit more and accept these parts a little more instead of pushing them away. Shame, I don't want you here.
Very interesting, Jessica. I do find that we are complex beings, and often what we do is we see or hear something from our heads or inside ourselves and we try to push it away or say, no, I reject this thought.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, we have to accept all of our thoughts. Everything that pops into our head is there for a reason. Every feeling that pops up is there for a reason. It's very, very difficult to acknowledge it. And, inner child is something I think most of us are aware of to a certain extent. And a lot of us have inner child healing that we need to do.
I think everyone. I'm pretty sure.
Well,
No one avoids that.
Yes.
Well, I have a bad case of Peter Pan syndrome. What do you think about that? Well, I just I don't know. I don't feel like I'm 40. I feel like I'm still like
Yeah.
18 years old. Like I still feel I have that energy. I don't know. I have all this creativity.
Yeah.
No, I just really can't sit still, So I don't know if that's my inner child still playing out.
Is it the ADHD?
Or is that my ADHD? I am ADHD too. I have
For
that.
sure there's some elements of ADHD in there, but
All right.
I think like there's a shadow side and a light side to everything, right? So
Sure.
like when we have these like young parts that stay very active inside of us, there's lots of benefits to it, right? Like you were saying, like you have all this energy and creativity and like all these lovely things. But then there's going to be a shadow side of like immaturity or like having like knee-jerk reactions to things or like, and just as like being a wise man all the time and this like super evolved person kind of equals seriousness. Do we want to be in that all the time? So I think it's always just about balance, right?
Sure. I don't have any
Trying to find
kids
that.
and I've never been married. So maybe that's
That
another.
also impacts men's development for sure. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think it's a bad thing, to be honest.
No.
I mean, you got to live your truth. If you're not interested in kids or marriage, don't go there.
Yeah. Or I just
Me
haven't found the
neither.
right girl.
Yeah.
I'm definitely not doing that. No, no kids for me. Marriage, yeah, I would get married again. But
Can I just say that I applaud the shit out of that? Any woman who chooses not to have kids, good for
yes,
you. Like, because
thank you.
society pounds this into our heads. And we are just as valuable with kids as we are without kids. I don't see what the difference is, to be honest with you. I don't know what the
Yeah.
big deal is. I think you can find just as much, and I'm someone with a child. You can find just as much meaning in life without children as you can with children. I'm sorry, you just can.
Yeah.
There is a lot to life, a lot more to life than having children.
I think some of the kids actually saved their lives because maybe these people were having a fucked up life where this child were totally flipped them around. We're like, okay, time to buckle down. I have a life to, take care of, So yeah.
Or like the ancestral trauma, right?
Mhm.
Like
Oh my God,
sometimes
yes.
people know that they would not be a good parent because of the trauma they experienced
Sure.
and they don't want to pass it down.
Yeah.
I completely agree. That is such a
Maybe
good point.
I'm a little bit too selfish too, where I wouldn't find myself with a kid where, too well. I don't know. I'm just being honest.
That's okay. All right. Because you can acknowledge it, Dustin, and that's what matters. There are some people who can't acknowledge that and they have kids. That doesn't work out that well either. And like Jessica was saying, it's best to acknowledge if you have too much trauma and you would be putting that trauma on your child, it would be best not to have children.
Mm-hmm. Or like, I just know I have another purpose for my life. I don't necessarily think I would be a bad mother, but like, I don't want to dedicate my life to a child.
Understandable. Absolutely.
Like,
And
I have other things. Yeah.
yes, yeah. You've got a lot going on and you were an extremely wise woman. I was reading through your stuff and I was like, there's so much of this resonates with me. Jesus, she's very smart, very smart. Not only that, you obviously have a vibrance to you, your being, your soul, it's just very vibrant. I stumbled across a video of you singing the Lego song. What is it? Everything is awesome.
Can you sing it for us?
Rated R musical comedy duo with my wifey, and you went deep. You Googled me.
I immediately fell in love with you for the record.
She's
I was like, this
crushing
lady's
on
awesome.
you.
Yes, I have this I have this rated R musical comedy duo with
Cool.
my wifey Mama Crow, and she's so awesome. We're gonna start a podcast actually based on our
Oh,
band, so it'll be like a rated R musical comedy podcast.
That's
amazing.
awesome.
Yeah, I'm
Well, I
pretty
love it.
excited. Thank
And
you.
you work with people who are very critical of themselves.
Yeah.
And people with ADHD do tend to be critical of themselves. This
Yes.
seems, I mean, I have a husband with ADHD and I have a son with ADHD.
Yeah.
And I have to say, from my personal experience, it is interesting. My husband was super sensitive, and I'm super turned on by like sensitive feminine men who
Yeah.
cry and talk about their feelings. That's just
She
huge
likes the
turn on
emo
for me.
boys like this guy.
So yeah, like so sensitive feminine men are like my thing. So
Yeah.
he's like very sensitive. And but I've noticed he has ADHD, but he's sometimes like so sensitive. Just in a conversation, if I say anything critical, like I'm like, hey, I really didn't like,
Nothing.
yeah.
You
I'll be like,
can't say anything.
I didn't like that you kind of like came on too strong the other night. Like I wasn't into sex. And he'll just be like, are you calling me a monster? I'm not a monster. And I'm like, whoa, no, not didn't say that. Like
This is
ADHD.
part of it.
Yeah,
It's like the rejection sensitive dysphoria, right?
yes.
So
Oh my God.
he probably has that. Like
Yeah.
it's just the smallest criticism and you feel so rejected.
Yes.
And yeah, like I've had to learn nonviolent communication to such a deep degree to not only like know how to not blame and criticize anyone else because that's not what I want to receive, but also to teach others, right? Because like if I don't know how I need to be communicated with, then I can't teach anyone or expect anyone else to know how to communicate with me. But yeah, it's a challenge, and that
Yeah.
like that perfectionism that comes with
Yes.
ADHD is pretty intense. Yeah.
Yeah, actually never thought about that because
Yeah.
yeah, I can see where I've been down on myself a few times where I think I
Oh,
shouldn't have. But yeah, no, again, it goes up and down like
Yeah.
everybody else
Yeah.
goes through. But yeah, no, it's interesting. I didn't know those are a link there. So
Definitely.
interesting. Mhm.
I have to say I'm drawn to people with ADHD in general. I'm not even convinced that ADHD is any sort of a disorder. I think it's almost like you guys are superheroes because you can focus on so many different things at once, and you need
Yeah.
almost like extra stimulation to be focused, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
But I'm very drawn to people with ADHD. I do find that people with ADHD are very intelligent, but don't
Yeah.
often don't do well with testing and stuff. It's just such a
Nope.
shame that that intelligence can't read on paper all the time. But
Yeah.
We just don't fit in boxes.
exactly.
Like we are the creative ones. We are like the problem solvers. We are
Yes. Oh,
amazing
absolutely.
in disastrous situations. We can just like we don't stop and like freeze. We're like, okay, let's go.
That is so true. And that's why
Yeah.
I almost feel like you guys, it's almost an evolutionary something. I don't
Yeah.
actually think it's a disorder. I feel like maybe you guys are special in your own way, and our society just is, there's a
It's
problem with our
behind.
society more
We're
so
Yeah.
little
than
star
people with
seeds.
ADHD. Yeah, that's how
It's
I
true.
honestly
Wait, what are
feel.
tests anyway? Like, why are
Right.
we taking tests?
It honestly is dumb. Our whole educational system is dumb.
So broken.
Yeah.
It really
Ridiculous.
is.
Yeah.
No, it's
People don't
funny.
even learn that way.
No, I grew up with a learning disability, reading and spelling, and it was very hard for me in the beginning. But yeah, again, like it just sucked. And then my sister recently just found out from her doctor that she's has ADHD, and she kind of felt gypped out that my mom
Mm.
and parents didn't really go and did what they did for
Because it's
me
not
to
as
figure out
common
what
with
was,
women.
if I was
Yeah.
really had what I had. And they just kind of assumed that she was smart and stuff like that. And she's like, she broke down to me a few days ago. She just started crying about like finally she has medicine that made her feel better and made her feel somewhat
Oh,
normal. And she's just like, she just felt left out in that sense. But no, again, she's got kids and a husband. And she married the guy she was dating since freshman year of high school. That's some 1950s love right there. He doesn't know I'm doing that.
Yeah, not many people do that anymore.
No.
That's insane. So good for them.
It was really hard to diagnose ADHD in girls in the 90s. It just wasn't very common, like probably also in the early 2000s. Like it was, because it showed up as ADD, not ADHD. Like there wasn't a hyperactive element to it. Now the whole thing is housed under ADHD, even if you're not hyperactive. But like, yeah, it was hard to identify in girls. And so like my brother, he got diagnosed when he was like 10 or 11, maybe 12. And then like I luckily was like, hey, I'm having a lot of these issues too. Like, can I also take the test? They're like, oh yeah, you also have it. And I was like, oh, okay. But it wasn't until I was like 15, I think, but it was still really young, like, because that was mid 90s. And like it was pretty uncommon. Like in my whole all girls school that I went to, it was like 6 grades, 7th through 12th grade. There was only 500 girls in the school, but I was one of 2 girls that had been diagnosed in the whole school.
Wow.
Wild.
Now it's probably half of the school.
Yeah, because it shows up as inattentive ADHD mostly in women, which you tend to be kind of in your own head and things daydreaming. You're not really listening to what's happening, which can be so missed, which is so unfortunate because so many super intelligent, wonderful women have gone through their lives feeling like there's something wrong with them, when it's just the way we don't teach people the way people learn, and not everyone learns the same way. It's such a shame.
You ever like think, Jessica, about like the ancient cultures of relationships and how they all worked it out in a sense, like you ever think about like how we all, especially like ancient India, they have like like you said, is it Tantra? Yeah. And that goes way back. They even have had buildings dedicated to Tantra. Like they have like they have statues doing all crazy different positions and stuff like that. Awesome, by the way. Yeah, I think that's really cool. I just wonder if like you're right, there's something there where everybody has to express love or get the feeling of love. And it seems like that's where that's why it's overpopulated there in India. I mean, they were going like rabbits. Shit.
Well, I mean, it's more traditional Tantra, more like energetic Tantra that is about like everything being love and every part of us deserving love. Whereas like Neo Tantra would be more the sexual Tantra. Okay. And that is like more Taoist Tantra. There is the Indian part, like the Kamasutra and stuff, right?
Yeah, the Kamasutra, yeah.
But then like Taoist Tantra, I would say is like a little bit more what I've learned. And it's much more about like energy movement and breath and sounding, and like it's really like, I practice it a lot in my relationships.
Because you bring a lot of sex appeal too with your
Yes.
That's what I like about it too. So I was like, damn,
you're very in tune with your sexuality.
You are. You're very love it. You love your body. It's just like it's just hot. You have a little aura around you. It's like, Jesus Christ, who's this? Feeling that.
Yeah, so it's like tantric sex is like one of the best things I've ever experienced in my entire life. It's like sex is here, tantric sex is up here.
Wow, I never had tantric sex, so
I don't know anything about it.
All right, so here's the demo. All right. So what I practice is called the microcosmic orbit. And it's essentially a practice to like purify your sexual energy. And so the first baseline of it is like when you and your partner, it's always about first connecting in a very deep level before you have sex. So I like to do connection exercises. My favorite one is to do this fears, loves, desires, where you ask your partner, like, what do you want? Over and over again. And they tell you, like, I want this, or in a relationship, I want this, or, in life, I want this, whatever your topic is. And then after there's a pause, you say, thank you. What do you want? And you just keep doing this for about like 5 minutes, and then you switch. And then the next question is, what are you afraid of? And that's a really juicy one. Like, what are you afraid of? And you can just keep talking about that. And when you pause, they ask you again, what are you afraid of? And you get into some deep stuff. And then the last question is, what do you love about me? And so these are like very juicy questions that create like kind of a deep connection. So that's an important part. Like, you can't just jump into tantric sex and have it be that effective if you're not already deeply connecting. There's lots of other ways to do it too, but this is my favorite one. Okay. And then you would start breathing together. So whoever is the smaller person, you're going to follow their breath because they have smaller lungs, right? And so breathing together and then sounding together. So making a sound on the exhale. And then you want to eye gaze. So you might even start doing this before you have sex, right? Where you're just sitting like face to face, holding hands, breathing and sounding together and eye gazing.
Yeah, I like
very
that.
Hot.
That's
very
good.
God
damn.
And so then when you can practice doing this energy movement on your own. You don't even have to do it with your partner, but essentially the practice is inhaling your sexual turn on, like your sexual energy, your pleasure from your genitals up the back of your spine to the roof of your the crown of your head, touching your tongue to the roof of your mouth. And then exhaling down the front of your body, down back to your genitals. So essentially, this is like moving your sexual pleasure all through your body, which as a man is really important because it like allows you to have non-ejaculatory orgasms, which like who doesn't want that, right?
Yeah.
And it helps you to like not like come too quickly, right? So that and then to also feel pleasure through your whole body, like as a wave of pleasure going through your entire body versus so like genital central. And for women, it'll just give you like waves of orgasms again and again and again and again. Oh, yeah. And so like when you do this together, so like let's say you're now making love, and you're breathing together and you're sounding together and you're moving together. It's like really important to kind of move together. And it's best to do it slowly. Like this is not like hardcore like fucking, right? Like this is slow, gentle, like a sensual.
I'm all about the gentle. Oh yeah. That's real making love right there.
Yeah, it's making love. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
And then as you start breathing and sounding, and then you start to move your energy together. So you're both moving in the same direction with your breath. So it'll naturally be the same, right? That's when you start to like get visuals and travel and leave your body and experience pleasure in places that you've never experienced it before. Like I have braingasms. Like I literally have an orgasm that feels like it's in my brain and light is exploding out of the crown of my head. or sometimes I have like explosions of pleasure from my heart and I feel the light shining like out of my heart into his heart and his heart into my heart. And sometimes it'll like go in like a loop-de-loop, like really. And then other times I like leave my body completely and I'm like just a witness and I'm watching myself and my partner have sex. And then also our inner divine feminine and our inner divine masculine connected. So there's like 4 of us having sex.
Wow.
And they're kind of like all intertwined together, like a really hot group sex.
Shit.
Oh my God.
You make sex sound so awesome. I mean, like, I had sex a million times, but Jesus Christ, not like that.
Yes,
Yeah,
you know what?
Wow, holy
It's
Christ.
such an important combination of meditative practices and extreme intimacy. I mean, you must feel so much closer to your partner after practicing this type of sex.
Totally.
Wow.
It's not, there aren't really words to describe it. Like I'm trying right now, but this is like some small portion of what it actually feels like because we don't have English words to describe the experience that we have in those places. Once you, I feel like once you have tantric sex like that, you don't ever really want to go back. Like occasionally it's fun, okay? Like it's not like you only have this soft, beautiful spiritual sex all the time, but
hey, and where does okay, let's go even further back with this technique and why we even had the capabilities to even do that. Okay. Like I'm a big ancient astronaut theorist. So like I had to go way back if like the ancient astronauts engineered us in a way that we can express that way to each other, or it was, whatever reason why we even have sex with each other in the beginning. No, it's just amazing. I feel like there's some reason. There's got to be a reason where we have that capability because you can kind of like describe like you opened up your own DMT in your mind. You know,
sure.
Yeah.
You're just like
it's very similar to that.
Here we go.
Totally.
You know what I'm saying?
A trip. That's definitely a trip.
Yeah, that is
pretty cool.
No, the way you describe, you're a very great storyteller, by the way, and the way you describe that, holy crap, my mind was exploding right there. I was like, Jesus.
I know if I could sell tantra, like I would be so good at tantra sales.
Yeah, I was gonna say just
sell tantra.
Do OnlyFans on tantra
or something. Oh my god!
Do your OnlyFans on tantra. You sit there,
just talk about it like today.
You're gonna jack off to my aura.
Does that take practice though? That's got to take some practice getting into that type of sex. Yeah,
it does. It like I would say I didn't get to that space until I had done a lot of breath work. I practiced the microcosmic orbit the most with doing jade egg, which is like a Taoist tantric practice just for women. And so I did hours upon hours. I mean, yeah, it took a lot of practice for me to get to this place where I can just naturally go into that because at the beginning you're focused. Like you have to do it so much that it becomes something you don't have to think about anymore. Because breathing together and sound together and moving together and then moving your energy, those are a lot of things to think about while you're having sex. So it does take like a good amount of practice. I've had some men like want to practice tantra with me right away, and I'm like, here's some practices to do for the next 3 months.
How about you personally? Not my girlfriend. Or my wife. Oh, whatever. Fuck. Oh, that's crazy. That's awesome though.
Yeah.
Seriously.
Yeah, that's super cool.
And like the stuff came from the middle in the Eastern countries too. Like I got the tantras and stuff like I was gonna say too, stemming back to the ancient astronaut theory, they interacted with these like 200 gods with multiple arms and blue skin and shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
Again, I think maybe, and they even like interacted. I think even had sex with humans. So maybe that was like stemmed off.
You think
to
they
them.
taught us?
Yeah, because like even like the angels in the Bible talk about having sex with humans and creating giants and stuff like that. I don't know. Like this, like
maybe there seems to be evidence of this. Yeah, all over the world that there were giants, right?
Oh yeah.
Yes,
sure.
Yes.
Yeah. Look, I think it's how we connect to our own divinity, right? It's like we're like connecting to the divine while we are having sex, which like connects like all of this like incredible power. Like I just think we expand in this way when we're connected, and that we lose consciousness of like where we are and what we're doing and like who we are. I mean, we become one with everything. So of course this feels like ancient and something that's been happening since the beginning, right? Because as culture continues the way it is, we become disconnected. We're more and more disconnected from source, more and more disconnected from like who we truly are. And yeah.
Well, no, there's this tons of stories of people who acted or had encounters with having sex with ETs, and even Bigfoot. I don't know if you ever heard the story of like some dude back in the I think it was the 1950s or 40s, where he's sleeping in a sleeping bag and he gets kidnapped by a group, one Bigfoot, and he gets dragged by a butt. I guess he opens up the sleeping bag and he's with a bunch of female Bigfoots, and he was trying to. The guy was like, "What the fuck is going on? I need to get the fuck out of here." Yeah, it was really crazy shit.
Okay.
But no, and then like the ET case, I like to tell this story. It's very sexually related. I think Chrissy's favorite story, right? Peter Curry.
Oh yes, Peter Curry.
We're gonna try to get this guy on our podcast. So
Please.
this guy has the holy grail to the ET phenomenon. Like this guy has DNA evidence. This is how he got it. So I guess it was like 7 a.m. He was sleeping and he felt like a cat jumped out of his bed. And he's like, "Oh shit, I don't want a cat." He opens his eyes and he noticed he's being straddled by like a milky white skinned, beautiful blonde haired woman with another naked woman on the side of the bed watching. And he's getting his dick riding. And he's like, "What the fuck is going on?" He tries to get up and then she cups the back of his head and pulls him into her chest to try to calm him down or the fuck. And he just gets more panicky and he bites down on her because he's like, "Get the fuck off me," like, "Who the fuck are?" And then he said he got a little piece of skin in his mouth. He started coughing, had this like weird reaction, and then he heard in his head he heard these voices like, "He's doing this wrong, something went wrong," and they disappeared out of thin air. Then he noticed that he had a boner for like 6 hours, but then he had something wrapped around his cock. It was like embedded. If you like stuck your fingernail in your skin and left an indent. This guy took like a tweezers and like he said it's super painful ripping this thing off his dick, but right when he did, it relieved his boner. So this thing was keeping his dick hard. So he calls the police, gets like scientists involved, and they do some testing, and they found out there's this like all race of human on Earth, and like it had like white hair because they didn't need much sunlight where they came from, and it's like Neanderthals. They're like really crazy, fucked up shit. So this guy is just like, yeah, that was my story. So there's a breeding program that's been going on since the dawn of time here, and there's that's what the whistleblowers have been saying. But yeah, again, gnarly. And then again, sex is there and the way we express it to and the fact that how we express it with each other, and the way you kind of made that you just sound like you had some alien sex yourself, but like honestly, my mind was like, open, my you know what I'm saying,
the way she's having sex in the spiritual world. She's not having like while she's having that time sex.
No, you're gonna have sex with an alien in the future. Trust me. Some alien's gonna find you. He's gonna be some blonde hair, blue-eyed, tall looking dude, look like a Lord of the Rings elf. He's like, "Oh, I'm gonna show you some tantra." Maybe.
Oh.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm into that idea. Waking up. Some dudes inside me, like
that sounds fucking terrifying, Dustin.
Oh no, I mean not like wake you up in your sleep. Just happen to walk up to you at a bar. Then he tells you that he was an alien. Nudge, nudge. That sounds totally rapey. I totally get that.
Yeah, that's
I was like, creepy. Please don't wish that creepiness on me, dude.
That's why you guys were silent there for a second. I was like, what are you? What? I was trying to be funny.
Hey, Jessica.
Jesus.
Do you have any paranormal interests? Are you into? I'm kind of a ghost girl. I like ghosts. Dustin obviously is a UFO guy. Do you have any paranormal interests yourself?
I mean, I kind of believe in it all, but I don't know if I like have dove deep into anything myself. My wifey is like super psychic and like hears and sees spirits.
Really?
And can talk to them. Yeah, she's awesome.
Oh, we should have her on the podcast sometime.
You should. Yeah. She's amazing. But yeah, I don't know if I've had like any experiences myself. And so that might be why like my interest has never been like super spawned and like, explored.
I think once you have an experience yourself, you go and explore deeper.
Exactly.
That's why like me and
Yeah, that's
Chrissy
always how it
had
is.
our very deep and very compelling sightings and experiences. No, it's really there's something out here. I feel like this is the Disneyland of the galaxy. Earth is. So there's so much shit going on here on Earth where people are seeing Bigfoot, ghosts, and other cryptic creatures.
I've watched a lot of documentaries,
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
aliens about stuff.
You're
Right?
very spiritual, so it's
Yeah,
all
that's
the
what
same.
it's all the linked, and that's why I wanted to have you on, because it's exactly the spirituality, the way you view life, and you make some great points. And yeah, you're a genius.
You do. You are a genius. One of the things that resonated with me was you made a statement about how, you ask yourself, am I choosing this partner or am I responding to this person choosing me? And I was like, holy shit, my whole damn life. Looking back, I have said to myself, who's the guy who likes me the most? I guess I'll be with that guy because he likes me the most. I mean, it makes sense.
Me too. I used to do that all the time.
I was just like, how do you tell that someone likes you the most, Chrissy? Holy Christ.
Easy. Yeah,
But the problem with that is most of the time those people are love bombers. If they're love bombers, they're probably narcissists and abusive. And more often than not, that's what you're seeing with that type of person, unfortunately.
Or they have like a super like anxious attachment and are super needy, or like it's just like indicative of so many issues. It's like really healthy love grows slowly. It doesn't just like hit you on the head like that.
Very true.
But it took me a really long time to learn.
True love, it's freedom and offering you freedom, because if you really do love something, you want what's best for that person. You want them to grow with or without you, because let me tell you, love is not possession and love is not neediness. True love is saying, I don't care if this person's a million miles away. I just want them to be happy. I want them to feel secure. I want them to feel free. If I need to not be in that person's life for that to happen, so be it, because I love them. I want what's best for them. That's what love is. A lot of people don't get that.
Like, you're talking about my marriage right now completely. Like, this is exactly what happened with us. Like, we realized that we weren't happy on the same continent because he's Argentinian and Italian, and we were living all abroad together for 6 years. And eventually I just realized I had to come back to the US and to California, and he was very clear he never wanted to live here. And as soon as I came back, my life blossomed and like was just like everything that I wanted it to be. That being out of the country, it didn't allow my life to grow in the way that like I really wanted it to. He saw how happy I was. He saw like how everything changed for the better for me, and like he was just in full support of me staying here, like because he just like loves me freely. And also for me, him, like I just love him like my family, no matter what. Like it doesn't matter where he lives, like he'll always be in my heart. We're not together anymore because we're not having a long distance relationship. Like, and he moved to Australia, which is where he wanted to live the whole time, and we couldn't move there together because of our
He just wanted to throw a boomerang.
He did. He loves it there.
Sounds like
and
real love. That's
really
like
happy.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
My mom's going to Australia. Sorry. No, that's really cool.
Throwing his ADHD in there.
Sorry, I heard Australia. No, that's really cool though.
But yeah, like love is freedom, and like I believe like True love should allow you to be more free, feel more free than you are alone.
Yes.
Because like that person creates a foundation from which you can always come back to and explore and grow in ways and places you wouldn't be able to if you were alone, right? You didn't have that foundation to fall back on, and that partner that has your back, right? That allows you to actually do more and be more than you
That
would
is
be
so
otherwise.
true. I actually wish that people in general would be able to love more freely. I don't think we were meant for monogamous relationships. I think we were meant to love freely. I think we
Yeah.
were meant to share ourselves freely. I think if we could love multiple people, that's really how we were meant to live. I'm sorry. My husband's aware that I feel this way, by the way. Don't freak
Are you
out.
guys in an open relationship?
No,
No.
we're not. We're
I'm pretty
not.
sure he wouldn't want it. Shit.
I'm not possessive of him. He's very traditional.
Yeah.
So he values tradition. I don't give a flying fuck about tradition. I value connections. Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I value. I don't give a shit about marriage. Marriage
Yeah.
means nothing to me. I'm sorry. It doesn't. It doesn't. I'm sorry. I'll say this to his damn face. Marriage means nothing to me. Connections mean a lot to me. I have a very strong connection with him, but I personally do feel that we were meant to share love freely.
Sure.
The world would be
I
a place if we could.
I think like
That's
I
awesome.
agree. So it's funny. It's like all of these beautiful like belief systems that come along, like that go with open relationship, right? Like how we shouldn't be possessive of each other, how
Yeah.
we should be supporting each other to follow our hearts all the time, and really supporting of freedom and exploration, and like, not afraid of space or distance, right? Like I am like so in support of all of it, but I've realized that when love is like in the mix, my heart is really monogamous. Like
Yeah.
my heart has eyes for one person, one
I
person
agree with you
only.
on that. I agree with you on that.
Mhm.
I want to kind of settle. I like settling into a person because the more you settle
Yeah,
into a person, you realize how beautiful people can be and how complex people can be. But I can only settle into someone who's willing to be vulnerable, and not many people are.
sure,
Mhm.
sure. Vulnerability is everything.
It
Brene
is.
Brown is like such a queen when it comes to vulnerability and how connected it is with shame. Like, I love it. I love
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think one of the issues obviously is most of the time people get the heart broken and they're just closed off and that's it for them. That type of
Yeah.
fear. I mean, I've got my heart broken before, but I said to myself, if I'm not open fully, if I don't like spiritually spread my legs, so to speak, then I will not find the deep, profound connection that I'm looking for.
Yeah.
And then that's that. And what, I'm just going to be a dead fish out there having terrible sex?
No.
No, I'm going to
You
open
don't
myself
deserve
up.
terrible sex.
No, I don't. I'm going to open myself up fully. And if some asshole hurts me, he hurts me. Then I get to feel that hurt. Feeling that hurt's going to make me a stronger person anyway.
Yeah. Yeah. Of
Sure.
course. Of course. Vulnerability is everything. We don't really even know ourselves if we can't be vulnerable. And we certainly don't know our partners. And I think that it's like kind of often on the woman to like open the container for
Yeah.
vulnerability and to make it really safe by like showing the way, like, hey, like, check out how vulnerable I'm going to be with you and how safe it
Yeah.
is. And like,
That's
let's
so
do
true.
this together.
Yeah.
That's hot. I like
Very
being
actually, you
vulnerable.
definitely are a genius, Jessica, when it comes to relationships and understanding why people do what they do. And really understand you understand yourself very well, Jessica. You
Mhm.
do. You have a very deep understanding of yourself.
Thank you.
Good,
Thank
strong
you.
sense of self. I appreciate
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. That feels really nice to receive. I'm gifted that I have therapist parents. Both of my parents are therapists. My mom's psychologist, my dad's psychiatrist. So
Wow.
I was like, I grew up in a world of understanding human psychology and understanding my own psychology. And my mom would always like help me when there was like issues with my friends in high school and like, all kinds of crazy things happening. Like, why is it happening? And she would break it down for me. I really started my like psychology degree like when I was 13.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes, I can absolutely tell. You're very smart. Yes. You're very bright. And Dustin was resistant to this, but I wanted to ask you for advice on how to heal Dustin. And I don't know what's going on with him, if it's his inner child or what, okay? But Dustin has had
I had my heart broken.
Dustin had his heart broken.
Yeah.
And Dustin, you might want to lead because I don't know the full story. But what happened?
No, well, I thought this is the girl that I wanted to marry, and she wanted to marry me, and I never had a girl ever actually tell me that. So I thought I was on the road to that, and my parents loved her. I got well with her family, and yeah, we ended up living together, and then yeah, she just kind of started to slowly change, where she started being less affectionate, and I was kind of I didn't get on in her case because I just thought whatever it is, she has bipolar, uh, and she has some other depressions, and she takes medication for that too. So I don't know if that's the case too. I have no idea. Maybe she stopped taking
For
it.
sure, these things are factors.
Yeah. So again, I love the girl. We had a great time, and then, yeah, again, she just out of the blue just told me, she's like, I'm not happy. I need to get out of here, and she was very sad too. I mean, she did cry before telling me. And yeah, she just ended up leaving, and then I found out like 2 months later that she's with another guy, and then they got engaged. I'm like, 2 months? You must have been
Whoa.
talking to dude when you're with me. So that's even like more of a
Ooh.
twist. You know what I'm
Wow.
saying? Like, whoa, girl, like
Wow.
I can't. And then the dude she picked to like get married to, total opposite of me. Big, fatter,
Mm.
bushy beard, long hair. I'm like, what the fuck? I'm like, no way. And then this guy has a kid too, so she's gonna take on a kid. She's never been married and never had a kid. Oh, it's just like
The big stab in the
Mm.
heart, and like
it was, and it just like
yeah.
she just turned into somebody I did not know. It's just like, whoa, what the fuck was that? And like, I don't know. And then um we kind of she just kind of, because I love her so much, right? I let her go, obviously, and I still still have feelings for her, and I still care about her. Recently she reached out to me to tell me that
Wait.
her mother got shot by her husband
Oh,
6 times while she was sleeping, and her mother survived some miraculously. Didn't hit any major organs, but shot in her chest and belly, and scraped against her face, and her, yeah, it's a mess. But anyway, she reached out to me to tell me that happened, and just because her mom really liked me. I don't know if she likes the
Wow.
new guy or the fuck.
so
But the fact maybe
painful.
she wanted to tell me that, I don't know why she reached out to me to tell me that. But again, I was very sincere, and I poured my heart into that message too, because like, someone deserves to get shot like that. Um. So yeah, that's
Yeah. So Jessica,
that's the last that's the last time I heard from her.
I don't know how Dustin would go about, like, do you have any advice on how he would go about healing from this? Because I haven't talked to him a lot about it, but I can tell that it really hurts him.
Mm. Um, how much do you say that you think about her? Like, if you were to imagine your heart space, and how much of your heart still like that you've given to her that she
Yeah.
has? How much of
I
it?
probably think about her almost every other day.
Okay,
Mhm.
so a lot. And like, how much of your heart does she have?
What part of my heart does she have?
Yeah, like percentage wise, if like what
Um,
percentage?
it's getting less and less, but like I'd say maybe 25% of my heart. Yeah.
Okay. So the healing is happening, but at a
Yeah,
slow rate.
it's very slow. It's just like, and then the fact of dating again, it is so horrible. I
Yeah.
mean,
It
yeah, it's
makes
just
it worse
it's
if someone
bad.
else has your heart, trust me, because I've
All
been
that too.
there.
Yeah.
I even though I've been married for ages, I have been there
Yeah.
before, Dustin, where when you are heartbroken and you try to date to get over it, it's going to make you want them more because that person can't compare to the person you loved.
Sure.
I don't know. It yeah.
And then the people I meet don't meet up to the same rank as. I feel like I'm always kind of going this who I fell in love with. I'm trying to find that
Mm,
again. Who I
Trying
like.
to find that
mm,
feeling, that spark. It could take
Yeah,
a while
again.
sometimes,
No, and then no one's. And then people look at like when I tell them what kind of hobby that I have. I think this is another. I don't know if they don't, they think I'm just a wild kid or I'm just a fuck boy or whatever the fuck. I don't know. They have all these different reasons. I can't control what people think about me. I like being who I
yeah.
am. I love who I am. So like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and you want to be accepted for who you are. I mean, you can't
Exactly.
like pretend to be someone else.
No.
Um, look, the dating world is a pile of poo. Like especially if
Straight
you're
up.
like on the dating apps, it's just
Yeah.
a bunch of
It's
shit.
garbage. It's
It's
garbage.
garbage. Like
It's the
it's
bottom
full
of the
garbage.
barrel. Oh
Look,
my God.
for everybody, for me included. Like last year when I like had left my marriage and I was like on the dating apps, right? And
Mhm.
I met this guy that I got into a relationship with, but he was wanting an open relationship. So at some point, like maybe 6 months down the line, he was like, okay, like you're the only person I've ever committed to in my whole life. Like, I have to go back to openness. Like, I can't be committed anymore. It was driving him nuts. Like, it was
Jesus.
really hard for him. Even though I never asked him to commit to me, he just naturally did it. He knew that's what I wanted.
Well,
And
how seriously, how
I,
popular is open marriage or open relationships?
in the
Like how
Bay Area, very popular.
okay.
Like
Well, not
here,
here in
around
Madison,
here, it's like,
Wisconsin. I don't know about that.
no, 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 no.
Shit,
But here, it's like everyone.
there's swingers out there. Get up in those
Yeah,
tea
yeah.
parties.
Here's what I do
Um,
personally. That doesn't resonate with me. Like wanting to have a lot of sex with different people doesn't resonate with me. Wanting to emotionally connect with multiple people resonates.
yeah. So anyway, I got on the dating apps because he was like, his name was Ben, and he was like, you can find another Ben, like like a firefighter Ben. Like you're selling this, you're selling it hard. I got you. Um, and I think, and I also met him from dating apps, so it's like there was probably like a nice amount of people I met before him, and then so many people that I met during and after. I think that I have some stats. Okay, so for last year, I talked to 84 men on the phone
Holy shit.
at least one time. Okay, out of those 84, I agreed to meet 32 for a date.
Wow.
Okay, out of those 32, I made out with three guys. And
Wow.
I think I only had sex with one additional person besides my boyfriend. Yeah. I, like, and how, and I matched the thousands. Like,
Wow.
it's not even like the ones that even got on the phone with me, I like messaged back and forth with a lot of other people too, right? So, like, the stats were horrible. Like,
Yeah. And
there.
like
And
how strong was the connection even with the guy you had sex with? Was it that strong even? Like I rarely connect with people personally.
I rarely connect with people. It was like The only person I had incredible sex with, I think last year, was the guy I dated, you know? And I was trying to like match that connection. It was really, really hard. Until I decided I was going to be single for 3 years. And then I met my boyfriend, and I was like, okay. So
Wow.
that's also advice for you. Decide you're not dating.
But where do you
Like,
meet these people? At the coffee shop? Like, what's up?
You got to just meet them in real life for
I
sure.
know, but that's what I'm
Organic,
saying.
yeah.
Like, it doesn't like the conversation doesn't come up like that, or he's always searching for someone's ring. You know what I'm saying? Like, who the?
Yeah.
That's why, like, at least the dating websites, everybody's on the same page. That's why,
At
like,
least you know they're all
I hate going to
single.
the fucking bars or fucking wherever and to try to talk to somebody. And they're like, I'm with that dude, or I'm married, or
Yeah.
all right, hey, I'm sorry,
I
whatever.
mean, like friends of friends, or, like
Oh
going
yeah,
to gatherings or like meetups
Oh
or
yeah, no,
something like where you're sharing a common interest with the
yes.
person. And like it's not about dating. There's something about meeting up to date that is the problem. And like, I don't know. I think also just like putting it out there to the universe that like I want a date, meaning I don't have it, and there's like a hole that I'm trying to fill. Like these things never come to us when we feel like we're missing it. When we feel like we don't want it and we don't need it, that's when it comes.
Dustin's got to find
God
herself a
damn it.
UFO girl.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that's the sitch,
Yeah. No, that's all right. No, I've like again, I haven't lost all hope. I'm a good looking guy and I have a lot to offer. I think I'm a catch. But no,
well,
no, I just feel like I'm just having bad luck and I'm just running into the wrong people and
totally.
just like, I don't know, just really down on my luck. It's just
Yeah.
You
really
really do
weird.
need to start talking more to the UFO community and find yourself a UFO geek.
Totally.
You, Dustin.
Yeah. Like a
I have
girl
been.
who's
I've been in it.
super into UFOs. Like there's so
Mhm.
many of them.
Yes.
Well, they're not in
Yeah.
Madison. What the fuck?
That's
I
weird because you got a
know.
lot of activity over there.
I know. I'm
but-
like filming UFOs in the backyard. Actually, I do. I actually have a video. It's very popular on YouTube.
Yeah.
I caught some pretty compelling evidence. Actually, I
Oh,
sent it
yeah.
in to MUFON, and MUFON actually put their stamp on it, saying that's legit. I'm like, that's awesome. Yeah, I was
Well,
just. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
that's okay. I was just gonna say if you want to do like a little practice, like around like something that you could do on your own, we could all do it together. It's only about 5 minutes. And it's like a little energetic practice where you're just kind of taking your energy back from this girl. So because like every time you think about her, every time you're like wishing that you were still together or that you hadn't broken up or whatever it is, like you're giving your energy away, you're giving it to her. And it's really important to kind of take our energy back.
She's been taking it for the last year and a half.
Exactly. Just take that shit back.
She doesn't deserve your energy. You have
do
to
you
put
want
it towards
Exactly.
you.
I mean, we don't have to do it like on here, but we could do it after the show, really quick after we're done recording, if you like.
Up to you. I'm down to do it right now, or we could do it later.
Yeah, let's do it afterwards. I feel like that's just it. This is more about you.
Fine, because like anyone who's watching or listening could also do it with whoever it is that like they need to take their
That's
energy
true.
Okay,
back.
if you're doing it that way,
really...
if you say it that way, I guess we'll do it right
and
now.
And
like
I have a lot of
everyone.
energy vampires myself that I would love to get my energy back from.
Exactly. We can all do it with our energy vampires.
Let's bring it on.
Okay. All right. So first we're going to do a little grounding meditation. Okay. So you can close your eyes if that feels okay to you. And take 3 deep breaths. And every time you exhale, make a sound with the exhale and just coming into your body relaxing. And wiggling your hips back and forth so you can feel the weight of your body. Growing roots from your sacrum down through all the layers of the earth. You can imagine like a weight on the ends of your roots to drop them deeper and deeper and deeper. And at the center of the earth, you're going to imagine a crystal shining really brightly. You're going to imagine that you can wrap your roots around that crystal, really anchoring yourself to that crystal completely. And once you feel anchored, you're going to slowly follow your roots back up into your body. And then you're going to imagine that the heart of the universe, or the heart of source energy, or the heart of God, whatever higher power you want to believe in, is a star in the night sky. And it's right above your head. And you're going to imagine golden light pouring down from the heart of source, or the heart of God, down all the way through the crown of your head, through your heart, down through your body, down through your roots, down through all the layers of the earth, down to the center of the earth, and then coming, inhaling it back up into your body, all the way to the heart of source, and exhaling it down, coming back down to the center of your body, and expanding this column of light, of golden light, all around you. And then you're going to imagine the person that has your energy, whether it's someone you're just thinking about a lot, or is an energy vampire, right? You're going to imagine that your energy is on them. So however much energy you've been giving them, you're going to give it a color. And you're going to see all of that energy around them like a cloud. And you're going to raise it up over their head like a cloud, just floating above their head. Okay. And then you're going to imagine that your column of light is a magnet for your own energy. And you're going to take a really big breath. And as you inhale, you're going to suck all your energy back into your column of light and allow it to go up and down that column of light. And then you're going to check back with this person. Is your energy still there? Is there more? Let's say there is. Let's gather it up into a cloud up above their head and take a really deep, big breath. Bring it back, going up and down your column of light. And then let's look at it again. Is there a little bit more? If there is, do it one more time. Gathering your energy all the way up into that cloud. Taking a big breath. Magnetizing it back to your column. And when you're doing this practice alone at home, you can have all the people in your life in a line, all the people that are taking your energy, and one by one do this with everybody. But for now, we're just going to slowly come back. Our bodies, yeah.
It was so relaxing.
That was dope. Your voice is so soothing.
Oh my God.
Oh, thanks.
I could like have you on my like a sleep machine. It's like,
I know, right?
I know.
Yeah.
Play this later. Perfect.
I was like,
I'm
no,
going to
seriously,
my
I did feel that.
meditational voice.
I did feel
That
that
was
tingling there.
amazing.
That was dope. I felt it in there. That was,
Yes.
that was cool.
Good. good.
That was
And
empowering.
it's empowering, right? You're like, oh yeah, that feels good. Like taking
It
my
did.
energy
So
back.
I think your voice is key to though. I don't think
Yeah,
I could
she
have
has a
done that
very
without.
soothing
I could
voice.
have said, yeah, I could have sit there and do it myself. You're just kind of dragging it, coming down like, damn, girl, what are you doing to me?
Yeah. I know I got that sexy phone voice.
You do. It's like shit.
It does.
Oh, that's awesome.
No, that was amazing. Very empowering.
That was really cool. Especially that'd be like a good like little ending note there.
That
'Cause
was
we
a great
came about,
ending.
yeah, we came around for about an hour. So, hey, is there any like websites or like Facebook or Instagram for people can like reach out to you, maybe like want advice or like maybe get a session with you?
Yeah. So it's just my name, Jessica Styler, like style with an R at the end. .com is my website. I'm still building the one for men. So right now the one that's up there is just for women, but I do work with men and women. You can book a call no matter your gender. Just go for it. Also my Facebook is just like Jessica Styler. Also my Instagram is Jessica Styler Coaching. And I think I'll probably start a TikTok at some point or something. I don't know. I'm kind of new to the social media. I haven't really been on it very
Well, I think you're made for it because you speak really well and you're a great storyteller
Very
and you're
vibrant,
very
vibrant,
bubbly. Yeah.
inspirational.
Mhm.
Yes. Good high frequency energy.
Pure genius.
Very
Oh,
smart.
you
Very
guys are
smart as
so
well.
nice.
Yes.
Thank you so much for having me on here. It was so
Oh
fun
my God. Well,
hanging with
thank you
you
for
Yes.
guys.
sharing your wisdom with us. And,
Yeah,
Yeah, that was
we
anytime.
great.
use that
Thank
grounding
you.
exercise later too. That's great. I
And I
need to have
appreciate
Mhm.
your
my energy
and I
sucked from me.
and I
Yeah.
appreciate
I
your
have,
advice too.
oh, of
Yeah.
course.
It's
Yeah.
awesome.
And I have that recording. I can send it to you guys if you want for the
Ooh,
practice.
damn. All
Yeah.
Oh,
right.
that's
All
awesome.
right. That's a bonus. All right.
Boner.
Our
A boner
boner.
bonus.
Oh, watch out. Got my shirt half off already. Let's get
Woo!
going.
As per usual.
Yeah, right. All right. Hey, Jessica, stay with us for 2 more minutes.
Okay.